Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures. Today we're going to be doing a video who's going to be about the problem of Haslab and Hasbro on the way of doing things, because I do have a huge problem with the release of the Snowcat. Now, it's not that I do not like the Snowcat. I know that some people out there don't think it's worth the money, or that there's a few issues with it. I have already given you my thoughts, so if you want to go and check that out, you can go and check it out. I have the video done already, so you can go and check it out. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about Hasbro, Haslab, and why do I believe that they have a huge problem with the announce of the Snowcat. This is no clickbait system. I'm not into clickbait or cancel culture or whatever, or going after other people. I don't mind saying certain things if some people get it wrong. Like, I do have a problem with Tony about the Big Ben figure. I will be doing a review of Big Ben, and I will also be talking about how I believe his video is not fair and his point is missing a lot of information. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back into this. Now, if you notice, there's a bunch of vehicles over here from the original line. There's some Action Force stuff, there's some G.I. Joe stuff, there's some Asian G.I. Joe, there's some 25th anniversary figures in here. Everything's a bit mixed up. But what is the common point of all of these vehicles that you see over here? Now, of course, I know that everybody who's watching is smart and has already started figuring out where I'm going with this. Now, of course, we already have the Vamp, who's already out, the MMS missile launcher, you have it over there next to the His tank. You're going to have the one with Hawk, who's going to be coming out. We have the Battle Escape armor, who's already out. Of course, we have the Vamp motorbike, and we also have the Flight Pod. So all these vehicles are out and have been released as exclusive to Hasbro Pulse or as a general release. Some vehicles over here haven't been released, and that's the reason why I put them here. So of course we have the Action Force Blade helicopter. We do have also the Cobra Fang. So all these vehicles, as the cannon, as the battle armor, as the Skyhawk that you have over here, are all vehicles in the same size, and I believe that all of these will be coming out sooner or later. Over here there's also a very interesting one. There's the Armadillo, but as you can see, there's a question of place on here, and of course the Devilfish. There's plenty of other vehicles, so all of those vehicles will be coming out in the regular G.I. Joe line. Now the problem is, any bigger vehicle who is bigger, same size as the Snowcat, well, it's not going to get this treatment. So this is why I was really pushing not to get the Snowcat and get something else who's a bit bigger, because Hasbro has been going bigger and bigger and bigger, because we got the His tank, then we got the Dragonfly, now we're getting, of course, the Cobra Rattler, and suddenly we're going back to another vehicle. So that means vehicles of this size are going to be coming out in the classified line and should be available at your favorite retailers or through Hasbro Pulse exclusives. So you see, this is where the problem lays. Now, let's dive into where I see the problem and what does that mean for future vehicles. Now, I have put some other vehicles on my turn-in plateau, so as you can see, well, of course, we have the Snowcat. So, of course, some people are going to be talking or referring to certain rumors, because it sadly hasn't been proven, and everybody I've asked haven't any proof of it. And if you do some research, you will see that it was only based on speculation. So a lot of people came out with the fact that Lenny or Emily or somebody from Hasbro team said that the Snowcat would be not produced as a Haslab, and that sadly never happens. Now, as you can see, all these vehicles over here are roughly the same size or maybe a bit bigger than the Snowcat. So this means that if you want the Wolverine, or you want the Bridge Layer, you want the MBT Molar, you want any of these vehicles, this means that they are going to be, has to be Haslab vehicles. So If we're going on this assumption, I guess the next Haslab vehicle for 2026 will be the Dreadnought Thunder Machine, because I don't see why it will not be coming out, and as Cobra is getting more love than G.I. Joe, it would make sense that the next Cobra vehicle from Haslab will be a Cobra one and will be the Thunder Machine. Now, as you can see, if for any kind of bigger vehicle you're going to have to wait 1 year before you get one, that's going to be a lot of years before we're going to be getting a lot of certain vehicles. Now, of course, you have people like Gridiron Studios who are doing their own stuff. You have Valaverse who did their own stuff with the Vanguard Jeep, who is as big as the Hiss, or even bigger than the Hiss. I haven't ordered one, but I'm going to get in contact with them because I want to do some of their products and want to review them and give my thoughts about them on the channel, and the possibility to get the Vanguard to be able to put it next to the Hiss tank to prove that you can do bigger vehicles in the line without being worried about saying that they will not sell. Now I can see a lot of people will be talking, yeah, but people are waiting them for going on sale and all this kind of blah blah. I'm going to call it like that. I'm sorry about using that. I'm not trying to insult, but let's be honest over here. I have been preaching since the beginning that any kind of vehicle that is coming out from Hasbro needs to be at this size, has to be a Hasbro Pulse, or even the other vehicles I have been rooting for it to be Hasbro Pulse exclusive. I know that some collectors will hate me for it because they want to see it go down so that they're able to purchase more than one. And that's where the problem lies. If you want a line to continue and you want it to be successful, you have to be assured that when you're buying something, you're not going to find it 1 month after you've purchased it, or even before it comes out, at a cheaper price, like we saw with the, if you watch my review of the cycle from the Night Force with Shockwave, I canceled my pre-order from Walmart to reorder it a few days before it came, and they knocked out the price. So I mean, if you're going to be doing that, you're going to be killing the market, because people are going to say, of course, sadly in Europe, we don't have much of a choice. We have to go through Hasbro Pulse because not many other people are selling the brand. So the problem is, if we're not getting any discount, you're asking people to buy your product. If you're going to come out with a product and you're not going to do any kind of motivation to say to the people, well, you want to have this product, you need to pre-order it, because if you don't, like the Vamp had some issues, people missed on it and are not very happy about it, and I do feel sad for the people who missed out on it. So I can understand that it can bring up some frustration with certain collectors on the fact that not being able to get it. But if you're asking collectors, people to buy your products and to support what you're doing, you need to have consistency. If I know that you're going to do a general release of a product, I know that if it ends up in Walmart, Target, or Amazon, it's going to be discounted. So if it's going to be discounted, why would I want to back it up with a Hasbro Pulse premium membership and wanting to pre-order it on day one? If you want people to continue buying your products, don't do like Hot Toys, stop doing 2.0s, repaints, or any other kind of garbage, and this goes exactly the same for these. If you want them to keep a value, you want them to be appreciated by the people and not trying to bet against your company, knowing when it's going to go out, and people are going to tell you, yeah, but Target or Walmart don't want any more big vehicles or big stuff to take up the aisles. I mean, Walmart, if we're going to talk about Walmart, has decided to remove a lot of their catalog and should keep it online, and decided to go for fresh vegetables, meat, and other cooking products, because they notice that it brings in more people to buy the rest of the stuff. And if you want other things, should go to internet and order them through internet. So you see, it's universal. If you don't keep up a product, you don't keep up the people behind, and you get unsatisfied customers, well, your customers are going to move away and not stay with you. So this is where I do have this huge problem with Hasbro not taking the chance on it. And this is the reason why I told you I wanted the Vanguard, because I wanted to see if the Vanguard is as big as the His tank or bigger than the His tank. That means it must be in the same dimensions as the Snowcat. So if it is the same dimensions as the Snowcat, that means Hasbro should have released it as a general public version of it. I'm not saying, like I said, Hasbro Pulse exclusive. I'm not saying, but I believe that that vehicle could have gone into a more regular line and maybe doing 1, 2, or 3 per year, so you don't bleed out your collectors. This would be the perfect strategy for you to do it, and the possibility for you to see if the collectors are willing to put $160, $180 into one of your vehicles. If they are, that means all these vehicles on the table could have been produced as regular versions of the vehicle. Now I can understand the His tank can become problematic, and now the question is, well, at the end of the video where you see Cobra Commander saying that you should not support the Snowcat, he is talking about to Destros, we send some white paint on the His tank and on the Rattlers so that they can go to the Arctic. Now, of course, I do not have it here, but on the 25th anniversary line, Hasbro did come out with a winter His tank. The winter His tank comes with the missiles, like on the Stinger. It has some backpack. It has some pretty cool features. Now, is Haslab going to do a repaint of the His tank? I'm not sure about it. And the question is, if they do, is that not against some kind of policies they have? And it seems, could be weird and could be very disturbing. Some people may call out the fact that it's not anymore unique tooling, that you're not going to reuse it. So I don't really know what it's going to be, if they're going to do something like that. But again, it's the same thing with the Snowcat, because we can get the Tiger Cat, who's the Tiger Force version of the Snowcat. Then, of course, we could also get the Havoc Mark II, who was the replacement of the regular Havoc who came out in 1986, but it was a repaint of the Snowcat in green. So, I mean, it gives you a lot of possibilities. The same thing with the Wolverine, the same thing as the His. And other vehicles like this, it could give you the multiple possibilities of doing repaints and being able to cash in the money for the hefty amount of money that you have invested in the vehicle molds. Anyway, now let's dive into the last part of the video, and I'm going to tell you why I believe the His tank right to now is the best Haslab product. Of course, I haven't reviewed it yet, but I will be doing a review of it as soon as I get my Rattler in. I wanted to have a few vehicles, and I wanted to be able to give a different point of view, because I've been using it, taking pictures and doing plenty of stuff with it. So that gives the possibility for me to get into more details, pointing out certain things that I would have maybe not seen at the beginning. So this is why we're going to be having a look at it. And so let's dive into why the His tank is the best Haslab vehicle. So let's dive into the last part of the video, and why do I believe that the His tank is the best vehicle that Haslab has made. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff going around over here. Of course, this was not all the unlocked tiers. You didn't get all of that for the prize, but you got a pilot over here. You got 2 other pilots, and you also had, of course, you have a female and a male pilot. And then behind, of course, there's a figure in here, but we are not going to regard it. It's I put it in there for the fun. And behind we have Cobra Commander. We got the different panelings for the His tank. We got some extra rockets. We got protection over there to protect the gunner. We got some extra cannons that fit under here. We have, of course, the possibility of the ladder, access to all of this. I'm not going to go too much in details due to the fact that I'm going to be making a video regarding it, so I'll be going into more detail. So, of course, we have the Gatling guns. Of course, they did a mixture between 2 different vehicles, His Tank 1 and His Tank 2. His Tank 2 did have the possibility to transport troops. The original one, of course, didn't. Afterwards, we, of course, got 3 different figures with a fire support team for the 788 His Tank, with a Range Viper, a Cobra Trooper, Cobra Officer. Then we got, of course, the MMS rocket launcher over here. You can see, of course, the missile effects are not with it, the launching effects are not with it because they're kind of missing a place. But we got a Techno Viper repaint. So, I mean, we got really a lot of stuff. We got a second canopy over there. So, I mean, Hasbro really went out of their way. And if you look when we're going to pass again, you're going to see Cobra Commanders hiding behind over there. But we got really a lot of extra possibilities to purchase extra sets to go with the His tank. Now, if you really look at it, we got nothing for the Dragonfly, nothing for the Cobra Rattler, who's really a bit of a shame. And the Snowcat is the same. Now, if you rewatch the video I did on my thoughts about the Hasbro Haslab Snow Cat, you will notice that I did talk, I can't remember, the joy of having a baby and not sleeping anymore, so working on the zombie mode. Still looking for the keys for the basement, by the way, so that's a bit of a fun part. So I really need to get there because I have some documents that I have to look for somebody who wants to buy something, and I do have the prices down over there. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back into this. So of course, as you can see, there is really a lot of stuff going around for this vehicle and so much more going around for it. So as I said, no digital renders at the end showing us maybe snow job retro, iceberg, blizzard, sub-zero, or giving us any kind of winter stuff that could go with our Snowcat. It would have been nice, maybe get also a digital render of a vehicle like the polar bear. You see, there's so many possibilities to kind of motivate people to say, well, hey, I can get it. Now, of course, you're going to be pointing out, well, we didn't get it with the Rattler or we didn't get it with the Dragonfly. And I think that is a huge shame on the part of the marketing of Hasbro, because there will be many possibilities to do a lot of stuff around it. Let's take a look at the Dragonfly, and those could work also on the Cobra Rattler or on any other vehicle. Could we have got a little vehicle pulling a fueling track? So that would have been something of nice. Could we have some ground crew maintenance or people helping around the plane to go with it? It doesn't matter if you made them G.I. Joe or that you made them Cobra. Mostly you could be reusing the parts. Same thing for the small vehicle or a vehicle that could transport the bombs to the Rattler. You could use it also in a different color. You would give it a kind of dark blue Rattler color, and for the G.I. Joe you would go for the same color as the one on the Dragonfly. So there's many possibilities for Hasbro to do something, and I think it is a huge missed opportunity. You want to get the people hyped, you want to get your collectors, your clients hyped about something, so do it, but do it properly and bring out items that go with the item you're trying to sell. So if you're trying to sell the Snowcat, bring out maybe Stalker, Stalker with his kayak. All this kind of little things would be extra to be able to add to it, and maybe put a way that you could attach the kayak to the Snowcat. You see, you're really pushing the people to say, well, if I miss out on the Snowcat, well, I'm going to get all these cool figures that you're going to make in the regular line that are going to be able to interact with the Snowcat. But if I don't have the Snowcat, well, it's not going to make it worth it. I can understand that a lot of the people are not going to wait for it to happen, but I strongly think that this is something that would have brought back some more energy into the backing of the Snowcat. Don't worry, I do not believe that it's not going to get the tree unlocked. If it does, this would be a huge failure on the behalf of our friends at Hasbro and Haslab for not managing. For now, we are 3 out of 3. I'm not counting, of course, the first Haslab vehicle was the Sky Striker with the O-Wing figures. For me, this has nothing to do with the Classified line. But in the Classified line, I really think that Hasbro needs to go back a pair of balls and start really believing a lot more in their line and try to do more accessories. I've talked with a lot of people, and a lot of people were out there talking that they were happy about the bivouac. It may seem stupid, it is a cool nudge to the one that came back in 1984. So yeah, why not do more of this kind of items that people want, and then you can build up dioramas, you can build up some kind of little interaction on your shelf instead of putting the vehicle basically over there with nothing around. You can build a small diorama, you can do pictures. There's so many possibilities. So Hasbro, if you do listen or take time to watch this video, take this in mind. It's something that a lot of collectors want out there, and if you can see, you're getting stolen those parts of the market by Gridiron or even other toy factories making these vehicles or accessories, and all of this should be you making them as a Haslab, not Haslab, a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, or maybe a general release if you want to. But this is what the people want. They want more accessories to go around with their figures. And I think you've understood it because you're starting to do it. Anyway, that's going to be it for my thoughts. And what do I think the reason why Hasbro failed with the production of the Snowcat as the Hasbro Lab experience. So tell me if you agree, if you don't agree. If you do, please put it in the comment section. If you like this kind of videos, leave a like, share, comment also. Subscribe to the channel, it helps a lot. Go and check out my Facebook page. I have plenty of cool pictures of the His tank that I did outside, and it's also on Instagram, so you have the links in the description. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!